For decades, people believed that the world's richest billionaires simply bought the most luxurious private jets money could buy, but few ever imagined that the ultra-elite had access to something far beyond the public market. A hidden aviation program so secretive that even major governments barely know it exists. This is the story of Project Specter, the ultra-secret jet program billionaires don't want you to know about. A fleet of experimental aircraft designed in total darkness under a series of private contracts, shell companies, and offshore aerospace labs. The program began quietly in 2014 inside a forgotten hangar in northern Canada, where 3 former aerospace engineers, fired from major corporations for pushing impossible ideas, were recruited by a silent consortium of global ultra-rich individuals. Their mission was simple, but insane: build a jet that breaks every known limit: speed, range, stealth, luxury, and autonomy, without any interference from regulators or governments. By 2018, the team had created the first prototype known only as Spectre 1, an aircraft with a skin made from a classified carbon nanomaterial that could shift its reflectivity, making it nearly invisible to radar and extremely difficult to track visually. People who saw it in flight described it as a black shadow that seemed to swallow light inside. However, the jet looked like a floating palace, a gravity-balanced lounge that stayed perfectly level. Even during sharp maneuvers, a micro-air filtration system used only in deep space habitats, and a sound engineering breakthrough that made the cabin so quiet it felt unreal, as if passengers were sitting inside a silent dream, while traveling faster than any commercial aircraft on Earth. But the most shocking part wasn't the luxury, it was the engine. Spectre 1 ran on a classified hybrid propulsion unit rumored to combine a high-compression turbine with an experimental electromagnetic accelerator, a technology banned for military use in several countries. This allowed the jet to cross the Atlantic in under 3 hours without producing a typical contrail, leaving no trace in the sky. Billionaires used it for private travel between hidden estates, remote islands, and secret meetings that never appeared on flight logs. By 2021, Spectre 2 was built, improving stealth, doubling range, and adding a fully autonomous navigation system that required no pilot input for 90% of the flight. The jet could analyze weather, turbulence, pressure zones, and satellite data in microseconds, allowing it to fly through routes no commercial airline would ever risk. Only 8 individuals were allowed access to Spectre 2's schedule, and each flight required encrypted approvals from 3 different continents. But the real game changer arrived in 2020 with Spectre 3. A jet so advanced that even aerospace insiders thought leaked images were science fiction. Its wings could morph mid-flight, narrowing for speed, widening for lift, and adjusting surface textures to manipulate airflow like the skin of a shark. The cabin used a multi-layer pressure shield similar to spacecraft modules, allowing the jet to operate at altitudes normally reserved for military reconnaissance. And inside, a shadow lounge room used ambient LED walls that simulated deep ocean, outer space, or mountain sunrise scenes with perfect realism, giving the passengers a sense of freedom no jet had ever provided. Billionaires used Spectre 3 not just for travel, but for negotiation. The jet itself became a floating boardroom, where trillion-dollar deals were made far above the world, beyond jurisdiction and outside any public record. But the secrecy expanded further when whispers began about Spectre 4, the next-generation model expected to enter private testing in late 2026. Engineers claim it will use a near-silent plasma propulsion system, capable of short periods of Mach 2, for without producing the signature sonic boom normally associated with breaking the sound barrier. If true, it would make the Spectre series the most advanced privately owned aircraft ever created, surpassing even military black-budget projects. Governments are rumored to be furious, trying to trace the program's funding. But every path disappears into offshore accounts, private islands, and shadow foundations controlled by the ultra-elite. Most people will never see these jets, never hear them, never know when they pass overhead, because they've been engineered to exist between the cracks of the world, invisible, unregulated, unreachable. And that's exactly how the billionaires want it. These jets aren't about transportation. They're about power, the ability to move across the planet unseen, to make deals in the sky, above law and borders, to exist in a world only they have access to. Project Specter is the greatest aviation secret never meant for the public, a hidden revolution in flight technology that proves one thing: the future of aviation has already arrived. It has just locked away in the hands of a few people who never intended to share it.